everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I'm going to be sharing part 4 of probably 6 of my entire colouring book collection in completed pages. This video is, we're going to be looking at all of my Asian colouring books, and this is really exciting because I don't think I've ever compiled them all into one video before. So some of these are English editions, but I'm still counting them as part of the overall Asian colouring book collection. And we're going to get started with my Eri colouring books. So I don't have all of them, but the ones that I do have are the ones that I currently have, and there are some that I would really like to get from Amazon Japan, but kind of all just adds up, and I don't find that I'm colouring her work much, so it's, I don't know, I really want her new book, but it's one of those things where I have to be really careful now when I'm buying books and weighing up how much I will actually colour in them. But I have 2 copies of the first tale, The Romantic Country. These are some of the first books I got actually after having been colouring for a little while, and this was really a book where I was testing out my Prismacolors quite a lot. So you might be able to see here on this compass that there's a silver pencil, and yeah, this was very much became kind of a testing book, and I was colouring quite a lot in this. So I finished this one. In fact, I think I was using polychromos for that one. This one was also polychromos. You can see I didn't finish it, and I was doing really bright colours for the buildings, which wouldn't really be something that I do now. I do think that I struggle in Eri's books with bigger spaces and not really knowing what to do with them. I think this was one of the first pages I did in this book. Look at that. Oh my god. It's so bright. Yeah, so I think I prefer her pages that have a bit more detail in. We have these. I was testing out some neo colours, I think, on that one, or gouache maybe. And this one I started. That was polychromos. This one was Prismacolor. You can see I did all the brown. With pages like this where I know there's going to be a lot of brown, I tend to do that first to get it out of the way. This one I know for sure was polychromos. All that shimmer. Again, this is a copy that I won't come back to. It's more for nostalgia and also just testing things out, evidently. I find that the smooth paper in English editions actually takes watercolour quite well. So I wouldn't be too scared about using it. Then we have this one, which I redid in my new copy, and I'm still not thoroughly pleased with the one that I did in my new copy either. It's a bit of a shame. But yeah, you can see I use lots of bright colours on this one. This was hideous. I just absolutely mucked it up, and then I don't know what happened here with the smudging, but yeah, funnily enough, the paper did not take the water well on that particular page, and there's quite a lot of transfer over to the other page. But then I started this one, the tea room. As you can see, a lot of unfinished pages in here. That might be it. Yeah, I think that's it. So that is my first copy, and then my second copy, I have actually got some completed pages in here. We have my redo of the Halloween trick or treat page. Yeah, still not overly thrilled with this. I feel like I could do a lot more with it now. I like the pumpkins, I like the chickens, but again, I think it doesn't scream Halloween to me. I think I could have gone a bit darker. We have this one, which again, very pastel. I think it goes with the vibe of the picture, but I think I would definitely colour that differently now. I've definitely got another one in here, unless it's my unless it's the other book. No, it might be the second edition actually. So that's my second copy of Romantic Country, the first tale. Then we have the second tale. Now I remember when I got these books, this was the first one I got out of the series, and I just got such a warm, lovely feeling colouring in them. I really think that they're beautiful books, and I have a lot of fond memories from colouring pictures in these. Even if I'm not as happy with the results looking back at them now, but this was quite a few years ago. This is before I even started my channel, I think, so more than 6 years ago. A little whip here. I've got whips all over the place in this one, but some of the pages that I have done, I look back at and I think I had such a good time colouring that. So this was following a pencil stash tutorial. This one, I feel like it was a Shirley XLY tutorial for the background, which I didn't do very well at blending. And then some really bright water. I haven't looked through these pages for ages. Oh, this very bright tea set. I know I would colour that very differently now. This I've redone in my new copy, but this was, I think I was just testing out blending for the dress and testing out my stickles that I'd recently got, actually. That was the point. Started this one, again testing some watercolour out on that with my Prismacolors. Started that one. I did this one, I've spoken about this quite a lot. This was the first full page I did with my 72 set of Prismacolors, and you can tell that I literally used every single colour, can't you? I would choose to do this very differently if I did it again. I do think that this is tricky though, because there's a lot of background space with the wall and the floor, and I think it's just tricky. There's quite a lot going on. But I would have to think of an actual concise colour palette to do for that one. Oh, we missed one. This one was testing out my lovely stickles as well. I think this was the diamond stickles. See, it's kind of coming away now, but yeah, that was polychromos. Started the house. This was on holiday many years ago. This circus page, I've burnished that so much. And I did this one, I remember this one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this would be a lovely one to redo again. I actually love how her dress came out. I think I did a good job with that. Just too many colours, and I would do it more vintage next time. So that's everything. Oh, sorry, I shit the camera. Apologies. That's everything in my first copy. And then in my second copy, I have this one, which I was trying to white out the lines. It didn't really do anything, if I'm honest. I think it's too muted. There's not enough shading going on. If I'm honest, I would just take that out and put some tape here, because I don't want to sacrifice losing that page. It's really nice going back and looking at these. Again, this one, this was definitely when I started my channel. I think it was in 2019. I don't really like it. At the time I did, and I thought it was really quite sweet, but I was in that phase of doing a lot of pastel colouring and not giving enough definition. I do a lot of pastel colouring now, but I try to have a bit more depth. So for example, for these flowers and these ones, adding an extra darker colour in for a bit of shading, but keeping the overall effect pastel, if that makes sense. Again, I'd probably be inclined to take that out, but then I'm going to lose half of the double spread. I feel like that might be everything. It's really hard once you get to the end of the books to try and have a look. Yeah, there's that page. That would be a really lovely one to do again. I've also flagged some other pages that I'd like to do. I'd like to do that one again. Ooh, sorry. I feel like out of all of the romantic country books, this one's my favourite. It is also probably the most detailed one. I could get the third tale again. I love that one. So that's that one. In fact, the third tale might come on a really nice Amazon Japan paper. So this is the third tale. I only have one copy of this one. Again, there's a lot of my early work in this. Lots of stickles on that one. It's polychromos. The lines seem crisper and darker in this book. A lot of whips in here as well. I'm just never ever going to come back to them. These are just nostalgic books to look back on now. Now this was the first page I did in this book, and then this was the beginning of a tutorial that Chris Cheng did. I actually really like how that came out. Oh, I nearly missed that. Did that postcard. So yeah, it is quite daunting, like going through and showing all of my early work again that I haven't shown for years, but I think it's really important to see the progression. That I actually really liked how it's turning out. That one. Tom's ice cream. I remember doing this. I had such fun. And this was a picture that I did at my grandparents' when I'd gone to Hobbycraft with my pocket money and bought some polychromos. Back then they were £1.20. And I think I bought 12 one time and then 12 another. And I had the 24 set. So I had 48 colours. And I just really loved testing them out and using them on this picture. I had such fun with that. I'd love to do that one again, actually. And then we have this one. So again, this was polychromos. Way too bright. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking. I really like the picnic mat. But yeah, this was interesting. Not quite sure how I feel about that one. These two, I loved doing these. I was so happy with them. I didn't really, with my backgrounds, I didn't really know what to do yet with them. So I was kind of just outlining everything and doing one colour. This double spread. I did a lot in this. So this will all be Prismacolor and polychromos. Started this with polychromos. This one. That's everything in that. I'd actually really love a second copy of this one, particularly if it was on the Japanese paper. But I still think the second one's my favourite. Sorry for my creaking chair. I've noticed that's been a recurring theme throughout with these videos. Then we have the fairy tale book. So this is quite a few years old now. I've done 2 pages in it. One that I'm so pleased with, one of my favourite pages ever, and one that I'm not very happy with. This is lovely paper. I have used quite a lot of watercolours on here. I'm going to start with the one that I don't like as much. This was a buddy colour with Anne from Pretty Pages 71. You can see that I was just using Prismacolor, I think, and then using a ton of my Clear metallic paints for a lot of the big areas because I just got some new colours and I wanted to test them out. And then I went over with some acrylic markers as well over a lot of the lines. So it was really fun. I really enjoyed doing it, but I don't feel like it really shows my potential with things, but I did really enjoy it. And yeah, it was fun. The one that I did that I love in here is this, and this will forever be one of my favourite pages. So this is the Snow Queen. And again, I used a lot of the paints, but in smaller areas, and you can see how much of, I think I did a video on the effect of this this dress. But I hardly used any pencils, a lot of white gel pen, and I just really love how it turned out. I would be really scared to do the opposing page because I would be worried that I'd ruin it. But yeah, I'm not really sure what to do about this really. And I really like this book. I just think there are so many big areas. So yeah, the one that I really would like to get is her newest one. I think the format's really nice for that. I wouldn't necessarily colour every single page in that book, but I think it's really lovely. So that's the last Eri book that I have. So now we're moving on to Koko Gusa. Now I have all of her books and I will share the postcard book in a little while. So this one's Rapsy in the Forest. Now, I really need to work in this. This I got, I think is the last book out of I think I got this after Menuet de Bonha, so I didn't get them in the order. Now there are a lot of repeating patterns in here, and her style's definitely developed so much. There are only a few pages that I would really do in this. I love, oh my gosh, I love that mouse so much. I like the bunny at the beginning. I flagged some pages as well. What have I flagged? Oh yeah, that's a really pretty one. Autumnal one. What else have we got? Oh, and I adore that one. Yeah, so that there are definitely, aside from the repeating patterns, a lot of pages that I would really like to do in here. I think quite a lot of people feel the same. I never got round to anything. I love that one as well. And that one. I never got around to anything apart from this, which I started with polychromos, and I really need to go back to. I think I would just erase it and start again. But I really like this picture. So that's all I started. I cannot believe that. It was newer compared to Menuet de Bonha. I got that quite maybe a couple of years after. And then this is Menuet de Bonha. I do love these covers. They feel so lovely. I've done a lot in this, so brace yourselves again for some older colouring. This was many years ago, potentially even before I started the channel. I was colouring this for my birthday and then never ended up finishing it. I think my birthday came and went and I just didn't go back to it. That was with polychromos. As you can see, I was really attempting to do fur, but I had no clue what I was doing. There are now English versions of these. I don't have either of them. This one, I remember doing this one and having such a fun time. I was so proud of it. So proud of it. I mean, at the time, bear in mind, this was at the very start of my colouring journey, and these were some of the first pages where I was like, oh my goodness, like this is really fun and I'm getting somewhere with it and I'm feeling like my colouring's good. So again, we've got the butterflies here. This might have been one of the first times where I coloured the butterfly this way, actually. Started this one, I believe that was a Chris Chang tutorial. It was a Prismacolors. Did this one. I was so chuffed about trying to make the glass bowl look translucent. Now, I was really proud of this. Aside from some of the additional things that made it a bit bright, I am so happy with all the shells, and my favourite thing, the little lobster. I was so happy with that. And my crab. And this shell in particular. Yeah, that was so fun. I think it could have used the background, but that was a lot of fun. And this one, oh my goodness. That's lovely, that music one. This didn't turn out how I wanted it to at all. I was trying to do a gradiator background and it didn't really work, but I tried, and it's a completed page. This one I was inspired by Jen from Reading with Pugs. I got a lot of inspiration from her at the very beginning of my colouring journey. Love these toadstools up here. This one, I actually think that my palette has developed in terms of doing more muted colours for the flowers. Not the budgies, but don't need to talk about that. This was probably my favourite page from this. All of the cherry blossoms. I can't remember whether I followed a tutorial or not. But here are the butterflies again. And the kimono, I was really pleased with that. And just the colour of the bunny. This one. I think I've got one more. Yeah, is that everything? This one, which was with polychromos. Really sweet. I like that one. Now, have I coloured? Yes, I have. I coloured this in the back following a Chris Chang tutorial, and that was years ago. And I didn't even have all of the Prismacolors at that point, so I was having to make do with what I had. And I loved that. So that's Menuet de Bonha. Then we move on to Symphony of Cute Animals. I was very lucky to be sent this by Koko, and it's still one of those books that I mentioned, I think, in my abandoned colouring book video that I want to come back to. This I'm kind of at a halfway house with. I don't like the briefcase and everything in it, but I do really like the animals. I think I could do more with the background, but I actually think it's fine. It's a title page. I can leave it. This one I really like. I really do. I think I could go in and add more definition for these smaller flowers, but yeah, I'm pleased with that. And then this one, not so much, unfortunately. I like it, but it's just not one of my favourites. But I was trying to make it look like Peter Rabbit. I think my problem was I just used lots of Derwent Blender pen rather than just blending naturally with my pencils. But we do then have one of my all-time favourite pages that I've ever done in here, which is this one. And I have the Jane Davenport shimmering pastel things in the background. A lot of white gel pen on those snowflakes and then making them look really realistic. I could be wrong, and I apologise if I'm wrong, but I believe this was inspired by Cat Kylo colours. I have mentioned it somewhere else in another video. That's everything, and that she wrote in it for me as well. Can't believe that. There are so many beautiful pages in this. So yeah, what have I marked? I've marked some in here that I'd like to... Oh, this one I love. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's see what else we have. Yep. Oh, sorry. Keep shaking the camera. What else? I think there was one more in here that I'd picked. And that one, that's beautiful. Yeah. I would really like to get back to that. And I like that there are, that it's smaller as well. It's more like a Rita Berman size book, isn't it? But hands down, my favourite is her new release, Leon's Journey. I adore this. I think the fact that it's a story just really makes me so happy, and I think she's done an amazing job. This book, there's so many pages that I want to do. The one I would like to get to this summer, if I can, is the hot air balloon page in the summer section. Where is it? This one. I also had another one marked out. This one, which would also be lovely to do, and I really want to get to one of them if I can. This is the one that I did from the spring section quite recently, in April I think, and yeah, I'm thrilled with that, especially the fur. Yeah, the fur I'm really pleased with on the bunny and the chicks. So that's Leon's Journey. Gorgeous book. So now I'm moving on to the 3 books that I have from the Impress series. I don't know how you say it. I'm really sorry. I have absolutely no idea. It's completely gone from my head. I can't remember the series, but all of these Japanese books with different illustrators. This particular one is the World Mouse Yuroi Journey sketchbook, which is my favourite out of the series, 100%. And I'm always itching to see if Mikiko Onotome is releasing anything else. I adore this, and some of the pages that I've done in here I'm not quite as pleased with, but yeah, I'm sticking with it, and I need to get back to this. This is one that I haven't coloured in for a while. This I absolutely love. I think the chaffinch is so fluffy and cute. This, I transferred the colours over. I'm really pleased with it all. I just think the central image looks quite bland in comparison, but then again I have to remind myself that this is the spring section and my colours are going to be a bit more muted in a different sort of palette than the other seasons. So yeah, I'm happy to kind of leave that as it is. We also did this one, which I adore. I transferred over the colours basically from they're slightly different. I think I used slightly different pencils. But yeah, really pleased with this one, and actually I don't mind the pastel vibe at all for this. And if you look back, they're really similar. So my idea for this was to have a running palette throughout each season. That was the idea. And then we skip, I haven't done anything in summer or autumn, I'm gutted. And they've done this Christmas one, which for a while it was in an ugly phase. I wasn't really pleased with it. But now that I've finished it, I am really chuffed, and I have all the colours written down so that I can come back and use them on different pages if I want to. Love the ribbon, love these decorations. I did a pastel background, and I'm keeping the little Wild Mouse Yuri the same in all the pages. This, even though I don't colour in it much anymore, it's still one of my all-time favourite books. I adore it, and again, I would really like to get to this in the summer. I think I'd picked out a page to do. Just the simple like summer intro, but actually any of these I would love to do. It's just a matter of having time, and I really don't have that at the moment. The summer section is gorgeous. I really like that, you know. It's just having all of the blank space and knowing how to fill it. That's what scares me a bit. But yeah, I always take it to uni. I never get around to it, but I love it. So that's Wild Mouse Yuri's journey sketch, and I really hope that Mikiko Notomi does another book after this one. So this is the second one. They're not a series, but this is the seasonal wreaths of plants and friends, also by Mikiko Notomi. It's a lot thinner. I don't think the paper is quite as good, but you can't fault the illustrations. I mean, they are stunning, and you know how much I love wreaths. Now, the spring and summer sections, I find they have quite a lot of repeating flowers in, and I love colouring flowers. They're one of my favourite things, but I prefer not having too many repetitive elements, particularly when they're really small. So something like this with the mimosa, I think I would, at a point, it would get to a point where I would struggle with it a little bit. In the summer section, there is this one, yeah, with all of the flowers. I love this one. This is what I had picked out to do. But the page that I have done is one of my favourites. I did this last year. I'm still so pleased with it. I really want to always keep this in the book. But one day, if I'm lucky enough to have kids, what I want to do is get a second copy, colour this again and frame it. Or just see if I can copy it really well and then frame it. I adore it. I think just... oh, it would look so lovely in a kid's room, wouldn't it? But yeah, there are some stunning pages. I love the autumnal pages in particular. So yeah. We also have the colour inspiration at the front, and I was really inspired by this. I would do a blue background, I think, but I was really inspired by that. So that's the seasonal wreaths of plants and friends. I wish it was on slightly better paper, but I don't mind. This was one at a stage that I was thinking of destashing, potentially doing it as part of a giveaway. I'm not entirely sure. Like I've said in other videos, I know that there will come a point when I'm moving out and I will have to condense my collection by quite a bit, because I'm just not going to be able to take all of the books. We will cross that bridge when we come to it, but I want to hang on to this because I think, again, thinking years into the future, wouldn't this be so lovely to do a page out of? And I don't know, I just, even if I was to kind of cut up the book and just colour these bottles and things, and I don't know, like use them for other DIY stuff. I just think when I opened it, it wasn't quite what I was imagining. I think sometimes it happens where you see a flip through, you really like the book, and then you actually have it in your hands and it's not quite the same. I don't know whether it's the line art. I'm not quite sure. I can't quite put my finger on it, but since I got it, which was a few years ago, I just never ever got a chance to work on it. Yeah, I mean, how cute would this be to cut out all of these things and then dress the bunny? I'm sure that's what it's for. I'm sure it is. So, yeah. There are some really cute pages in here. I just don't really see myself colouring in it at this point. They're really cute though. I don't think I would be able to do anything really well with watercolour on this paper, if I'm honest. That's an advent calendar for sure. That's so cute. We've got some Christmas ornaments in there as well, which is really sweet. So yeah, it's a lovely book. I'm not like bashing the artist at all. I just think it's not quite my style and I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it yet. But that's the bunny book. And then we have Cammy Choo. Now I am so gutted because I cannot buy a second copy of this, and I really would like a second copy. If any of you have a copy of this that you would be willing to sell to me, please let me know, because oh my gosh, I would love to get my hands on a second copy desperately, and it's not available anywhere. I coloured so many pages in this. Again, I think I must have a I must have a flip through of this. I got at least to 30-40%, I think. These were with varying pencils, some Prismacolor, some polychromos and things. I had the same palette going on for all of the bubbles and the flowers and all of the Zentangle bits. And then for the main Zentangle bits in the actual animal, I would colour them with the same colours that I used for the animal, so it would all blend in together. So I'll go fairly quickly through this because I've got a lot of pages in here. And then I used pastel for the background. Love the donkey. I just adore this book, and I got it 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago now, so it's one of those where my style is just not the same. Because the only thing with this, with a lot of the animals, they're brown or grey a lot of the time, and I want to try and colour them accurately. I love my turtle page. Oh my goodness, that was so fun. And that one. But yeah, I always want to try and colour them realistically. Even if it means that it may look slightly dull because they're not, they're not colourful. Really love the penguins. Oh, have I missed one? Oh yes, this big double spread. Seahorse, I love that one. So you can see I really did colour a lot in this. I love the whale. That's everything. I adore it, and I wish I could get my hands on a second copy purely for colouring some of them again for nostalgia. So that's the Fantastic Zoo English edition. And then I have one of the storybooks. I have absolutely no idea what it's called. It's just on the spine, it's got colouring storybook written on it, and I don't know if you can still get your hands on this. This is a Japanese edition, so the paper is lovely, and the illustration style is definitely different, but I still like it, and it's a story. And so at one point when I got this, I think I did translate everything, and if and when I start colouring in it, I will translate and put patterned paper and things on it like that to be able to read it. I would really like to one day colour it all. I just think there are some pages like these ones coming up where there's a lot of repetition. Love that penguin one. But if I can't get a hold of Fantastic Zoo, this is a good enough kind of replacement of that, because some of the animals are repeating. There's a lot of empty space, so I don't know what to do with it, whether to do pastel or just leave it. I don't know. I think I could get away with using fine liners for a lot of the elements now, and it would still look really nice. It's cute. So yeah, I think I did do a flip through of this when I got it. See, again, a lot of these are repeating with the fish, aren't they, at the end? But it looks like a really lovely book. And then there was this one, the colouring book 2, and I don't know if you can get your hands on that anymore, but I think it was mainly safari animals, that one. So that's the colouring storybook. It is a travesty that I haven't worked in it yet, but I'm actually really pleased I haven't worked in it, because it means when I do start working in it, it will be hopefully my best work, and I don't have some random pages started in it from years ago. So that is actually really good. So yeah, that's that one. I will be back with you in a second. I'm just going to get the other stack of books. Okay, so we're going to start off with a few of the postcard sets that I have. So in my last video, when I was talking about my Clara Markova postcards, I bought a Profolio for those, which was 5 by 7 inches. So these are the Itoya Art Profolios, which you can find on Amazon hopefully still. I did buy these many years ago. But I mentioned that for all of my other postcards, I say all my others, I've only got one more. These are 4 by 6 and these fit normal sized postcards. That's a lie. I actually do have one more postcard set, but anything like your Rita Berman ones, they would fit in here. I've got some random postcards by Marja Safstrom in the back here, but yeah, they're really sweet. Really sweet. So this is the only postcard that I've done, and this is from the postcards by Eri. So you get 16 and 2 of each. And there is another postcard set that I can't remember what it's called, but it's got a house on it. So this one was completed with, oh, I can't remember, Holbein? Yeah, it looks like Holbein to me. So I actually do have another one somewhere. Can't remember where it's gone, but I did it with Neocolours. That's really annoying, I can't find that. I also have one that I started with my new acrylic Truly Art markers, which I shared in the review. So yeah, this is really nice that I have 2 of each as well. I'm a massive fan of that, and I could always send them to people. Yeah, I did this one with the Neocolours. So yeah, they are the Eri postcards, and then you might have seen from that I was having Eri and Mickey Taki postcards in there, but I haven't actually done any of them yet. These are the Mickey Taki ones. I have the fairy tale set. I think there are quite a few other sets that you can get, but these I was sent as part of a Chin and Sarah review. They sell colouring books on Etsy, and these are beautiful. I particularly like the fairy tale ones at the beginning. That one's gorgeous. I like that we get the coloured ones for inspiration as well. I'm not so much of a fan of these fairy ones. I feel like they could have been used for more fairy tales, but that one looks like Tinkerbell. And they're not as detailed either, which is quite nice. But yeah, I would really like to get to one of these at some point. So they are the Mickey Taki colouring postcards. And then finally for the postcards, we have my Waltzes for the Seasons ones by Koko Gusa. You only get one of each of these, and I would really, really like to have the full available set again, because I've given quite a few away. I've coloured some, and yeah, it's a bit of a mess this, because I've torn some things out. I don't know why this isn't. Oh, sorry, I keep shaking the camera. This was a Tiny Tin challenge where I was using just the 12 Holbeins. Then we have, oh, I took one out. What did I take that out for? I think that was one that I coloured for a present. We have this one, which I was colouring with the 12 or 24 Norris pencils. They're so hard. The Statler ones, they were really difficult to use, but I had fun doing that one. I indented the page so much on the side, you can see. I did this one, my little squirrels. Really like that. And I did an, oh my gosh, this one back here with some felt tips. I did a really nice one that I gave to my mum, I think, that I ripped out there. So yeah, these are really sweet, and if you want something that's obviously not as intimidating, then this is kind of your go-to thing for Koko Gusa or Symphony of Cute Animals. So they are my postcards. And now I'm just going to share miscellaneous artists, where I only have one of each of the books. So we have My Colourful Town by Chiaki Ida. Now this is the English edition. Again, I don't think you can really get hold of any of her books anymore, which is a shame, because there was one that I really liked, and to be honest, I got this so early on in my colouring book collection, I didn't do my best work at all in here. And there are some, I don't like colouring interiors particularly, but I still think that this is a really pretty book. I started this one with polychromos. I've got some, I know for a fact, I've got some dreadful tester pages. Here we go, coming out. I was testing out ink. And here as well, oh my goodness. It did not like the ink, let me tell you that. I thought I'd done more in it. Have I really not? Gosh, that's terrible. But this was the time where this was actually available on Amazon. Yeah. Wow, that's gorgeous, isn't it? So that's my Checky Ida and my Colourful Town. One of the first books that I got on Etsy was this book, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. I feel really bad. I saw this on Colouring Francis on her channel, and I saw a flip through of it, and I really was so eager to get it. I did one page in here, which looking back is could do with some work. It was pretty good though. I mean, I like these. I think they turned out really well. I think it's the eclairs and the macarons and the flowers that really need some work, but the Paris Brest, happy with that. Now the fun thing about, oh, I did two. I forgot I did this. I don't really like this, to be fair, but yeah, I just think the colour palette's a bit off. I use too much metallic as well. I would be interested to see if there's a Polish one in here actually though. For Marcel, maybe I could colour that. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Yeah, there are some really cool pages in here. I like the Canada one because, was it Canada? Yeah, Anne of Green Gables down there. Let's have a look. That's America, Switzerland, love that one. That's sweet. Oh my goodness, it's Poland isn't in here. But yeah, there are some really cute pages. I mean, how nice would that be to kind of cut it out or photocopy and colour them and put them on a card. Love the German ones. Really like that one actually because it was Christmassy. I remember really liking that. So yeah, it's a really fun, interesting book. I'm not sure if you can get this anymore, but yeah, how much I see myself colouring it in the future I don't know, but yeah, I do think that it's a really nice idea. And it's got this interesting brown ink as well. Then we've got, and I have no idea who that's by, I'm so sorry, I don't even know what the name of it is called. Actually, let me give you the ISBN. I don't know if you can even get this anymore. Oh, there we are. But yeah, it's like travelling around the world food or something along those lines. Then we have the Ken Matsuda colouring book, which I very kindly bought with some Ko-fi money. And again, the paper is not the best. My ideal situation would be to get the French edition. But then again, I do think that his illustrations are so intimidating, I'm not sure if I would even... I don't think the paper quality would make me work in it more. I think I'm just intimidated, full stop. I did do my Ladybird in here, which was when I first got my Art Spirits paints. And I love the gold. I don't think that using them all over the wings worked. I think I should have kept it more realistic and just done the gold on the stars. And it's also really bumpy now, so if I was to colour another page it wouldn't work particularly well, but I mean the artwork is stunning. I just think it's a bit like Kirby Roseanne's. There's a lot of black space and lots of hatching, which does make it easier for the shading but also makes it harder to actually be able to add your own shadows in and have like real definition. I know for some people it's easier because it's basically like grayscale, so I like that we get the coloured images at the back here as well. That's really fun. Yeah. And again, beautiful artwork. Then we have the only Forest Girl book that I have, which is the Forest Girl 2. So this is the premium edition one. I think there are about 4 books now, correct me if I'm wrong, with a postcard book. I would really like to get one of the other books at another point, but I just think, again, it's one that I haven't worked in too much, so I don't want to keep buying books. I've been a lot more conservative over the past couple of years about what I'm actually buying. You may have noticed, because I don't do hauls as often. This I was testing out using water-based brush pens and watering them down and using them as watercolour, which worked really well. And that's what I did for the picture in here. So like a lot of the Asian books, you get the picture on one side and then your illustration on the right, which I definitely did use as inspiration. I think what's really hard with this is obviously this has been done with watercolour, it looks like, and then trying to replicate that with pencil is quite hard. But I'm still really happy with this. This is yeah, gosh, I was amazed I actually managed to get it somewhat close to the original. And I've written down the colours that I used, Prismacolors if you're interested. I used water-based pens as a base for this, watered down for the watercolour effect. So yeah, that's my only completed page in this, and I would really like to do more in here. But this was one of the particular ones where I knew I wanted to follow the exact colour palette. I don't think I would necessarily feel that way. Some of them are a bit too dark for me. I think I would need a bit more colour in there. But that one, love. Love, love, love. I would take that out on frame. So that's that one. And then we have, oh gosh, and I cannot remember the name of this either. I'm going to put the ISBN there for you so you can have a look. It might be in the back. Caramouche, and I can't remember what the book's called, but this is a book with 16 pictures in, and you've got them all at the front here, and in big form as well, and then you get all the illustrations. Now I started doing the polar bear and cannot remember what I used. I just think at this point for the tree I would need to start again. I like the background, I like the balloons, I just cannot remember what I did. I know I was using Holbein's, but I tried to photocopy the bear and it just didn't work. So I think what I would have to do is just commit to cutting these pages out so that I could keep the page right next to me. It's gorgeous, it really is. I like the penguin one as well. It's a really sweet book. Quite an unusual style, and I find the thin line art quite tricky, and the kind of grade line art as well. That's the Caramouche, or Taki Caramouche colouring book. And then we have a few untouched books. So we have the Yuko Higuchi's Magical Colouring Museum. This is a really fun, interesting book. The reason I haven't really coloured in this, I think I may have said in my untouched colouring books video, I love looking at this as an art book. I think it's stunning on its own without any colour being added. And I like, there's a story. You could read this to a kid and just make up your own story, because there's only a few words going on. But I think I'm so tempted to kind of just leave it as it is, really. You wouldn't need to add much to the illustrations at all. The background's already there for you, which is really handy. And fun. You don't always see that. It's really unusual. And then at the front you have the translucent pages, which you could definitely use markers or things on the front. They're glossy on the back, so that wouldn't be any good. But it just goes through the story of them going through the curtain, turning into cats. And then the story begins. There are definitely some very interesting illustrations in here. There are definitely some that scare me a bit, and I wouldn't necessarily want to colour, like the eyes and things. I'd probably take those out of that illustration. But I love the mushrooms. It's very quirky, quite psychedelic. I just think it's a really cool book. They keep turning into different animals. I think that's the point of the story. So yeah, that's that one. Lovely cover as well. Then we have the Doming's Fairy Tales colouring book. Now, way back when, I found the PDF online, not realising it was a scam. And I did end up colouring 2 postcards. I must have those somewhere. I'm not sure where I put them. I'm just going to check that they're not actually in my other postcard holder. No, they're not. I am not quite sure where they've gone then, but I had coloured 2 of the pictures. I coloured the Peter Pan one and the Alice in Wonderland one, both with Black Widow pencils on this really awful card. So I would definitely want to colour those again, and I am really inspired to colour in this book. Again, it's one, just about finding the time, also trying to make them as accurate as possible to the opposing side, and for that I have to be really in the mood. I have to be honest, like, it's not always something that I want to do, to try and replicate things, because I do find that it takes out some of the enjoyment of picking a colour palette, so I do really have to be in the mood. But it's a gorgeous book. I never thought I'd be able to get hold of it. So yeah, this one I was sent by Chill and Sarah as well, and I really like the size of it. It's quite small. That's gorgeous. I've got 2 more left. So we have the 4 Seasons colouring book, which again is untouched, and it's primarily for the same reason. I'm just not always in the mood to replicate palettes. And what I love about this, again, the way that you get the background already basically coloured, because it's all beige, and then all of the line art in different colours. How neat is that? That's something I've never seen in a colouring book before. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily need to replicate them if I didn't want to. That's gorgeous with the background already in there. It's almost like a colour by number, but with the lines. This is one of my favourites. I really like that one. I flagged one. Let's have a look at what I flagged. Oh yeah, I love that one as well. Some of these where they're landscape and they don't have much going on the scene, I'm less drawn to. But the full kind of scenes I really like. There's in particular a winter one which I really love. Where is it? I like that one a lot. I'm sure it was in here. Maybe not, I can't find it. Maybe it was that deer one that I was thinking of. The other thing I love in the back is the doll. I will definitely be using this in the future. I think that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And you've got the coloured version, or you can colour your own. I just think that's such a good idea. I used to love these things when I was younger. So I've got one in the next book I'm about to show you as well, but I think that's so cute. And there are some like letter writing bits at the back as well. So that's that book. I love the cover, it feels amazing. And then the final book I have to share is newly acquired in my collection. This is Vintage My Room, and I was very kindly, I asked anybody if they had it and they'd be willing to sell it, and Ruth very, very kindly said she would give her copy to me, and I bought it a few months ago, and I've nearly finished a page. So I'm kind of glad I haven't finished it, because it means when I do a completed pages, you haven't already seen the full picture. I have all of the planets left to do, and then I need to go in and add lots of acrylic paint marker everywhere. But yeah, I'm loving how it's turning out. Definitely my signature kind of pastel palette, but I don't think I would have really coloured this page any other way, and I really like how it's turning out. And also I think the pastel vibe works for, you know, it's the children's books, right? So they're fairy tales. I think it works. the binding did start coming undone, so I had to put some tape on the page, which I'll have to do throughout the whole book. But I really like the effect of having the tape in there, actually. I'm not going to talk about this one too much because you can't get hold of it anymore, unfortunately, unless you do what I did, and very lucky to be able to find someone who's willing to sell theirs. But yeah, it is really gorgeous. There are definitely a lot of detailed pages which I'd like to get to. It's just about finding the time. And obviously, now that I'm colouring less, I like to try and rotate my books as much as possible. So I'm giving other books love. But my gosh, this is gorgeous. So this is illustrated by Chunso. And that's Vintage My Room. So that's everything I have to share in this video. They are all of my Asian colouring books. I really hope that you have enjoyed watching, and stay tuned next week for part 5. Like I said, these will all be uploaded Fridays at 5 PM UK time. So yeah, I've been really enjoying doing this series, and I hope you've enjoyed watching so far. So take care everyone, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!